All right, so how's everyone doing? This is the coronavirus lockdown version. I'm Dave with the Pit Boys, the Barbecue Pit Boys Mountain Pit chapter, and we're going to do something that I haven't had a chance to do, and I want to share it with you guys. I have this 15.4, almost 15 and a half pound prime full Packers brisket, and I've been wanting to do one of these for so very long. As you can tell, I've kind of hacked at it a little bit here and trimmed it up some. It's just for home, and I want some of the fat because I think the fats ends up being very delicious and worked in with all the rest. But I wanted to share doing this with you, and I'm going to do it in a real simple way because I'm testing out a rub for brisket and other things that a friend of mine, who's also a member of this page, Phil Ledbetter, made, and it's got all the kind of normal stuff plus a few surprise ingredients. I think it tastes good, and I can't wait to try it out on this brisket. So I'm going to do it real simple. I've already injected it with a little bit of beef stock to get that going. I've trimmed it down. Now what I want to do, real simple, this is something that I like to do. Some people don't use binder, some people use mustard. On brisket, I've found this is just what I like to do. So I'm going with the Worcestershire or the Worcestershire or the W sauce, and I'm just going to rub this in here, get this going, and then I'm going to come on top of that with some SPG and get that on there, get a good layer of SPG on here, and then I'm going to come back on top of that with Phil's rub. And so we're going to go with that, get all that done, flip it over, do the same thing, and then I'm going to get it in the refrigerator. I'm going to wrap it up in the refrigerator overnight, and I'm going to start out real early in the morning. And I will decide probably at the last minute whether I'm going to try and do it a little quicker and hotter or lower and slower, but I'll work that out in the morning once I get things going. So let's get I'm going to put this SPG on here. It's just standard Texas stuff. It's 50% salt, 50% pepper. And I'm just going to get a good layer on here. I don't know, you should be able to follow along and see that I'm getting a coating on here, or a good even coating, I guess I should say. There we go. Let's get it on the sides and on all the edges. Whoops, cutting board's running away. Thankful for this cutting board. We don't have a lot of space in this apartment that we're in now, and a friend of mine several years back made me this cutting board, Tim Caldwell, and I really appreciate it because it lets me take the sink space and have a little more room to do these things. All right, now we're going to dive in with Phil's rub here, and I'm just going to pinch it on. And I want to get a nice, good coating on here. Fairly, not really, really thick, but pretty thick. I'm not gonna, encase it like some of those salt cod they make. But what I am gonna do is get a bunch of it on here, and I'm gonna try and break it up as I go along, but I'm going to get a little bit everywhere. And I am really looking forward to this, seeing how this is going to come out at the end. Right. I think that's gonna, you know what, I'm gonna go back on a little more. And I'm gonna turn it over. We're gonna go on the other side, do the same exact thing. Just gonna flip this over. You can see I've kind of got a little divot or two there. And mostly, I don't mind. I've trimmed the fat down to a quarter, maybe a half of an inch, and it's like I said, I kind of like the fat, so I'm going to leave a little more on because this is just for us. Did I just say a little more on? There's no morons here. I'm just going to leave a little thicker layer of the fat than maybe some of you would like, but you know, it's just like the Worcestershire sauce. You do what you want to do what's worked for you, and then maybe you take away a few tips, take away a few pointers, and you come in and make something really amazing, really fabulous. And that's cool, and I'm happy for you, as long as you post it to the Facebook page, to the Barbecue Pit Boys Mountain Pit chapter. And the reason it's the Mountain Pit chapter is because we're located in the high altitude of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Now this is just the SPG that we're, or the, I said SPG, didn't I? And I didn't mean that. I meant it's just a standard 50-50 salt and pepper Texas rub. I'll go on with that. Looks like I got a good coating. Now I'm not running the camera, so I don't know, but I know whenever people in videos put pepper on, it's black pepper, but I always thought it's odd that I never seem to see it well. So hopefully you see that. It's pretty speckled up here. Now I'm going to come back and I'm just going to get a bunch of Fabulous Phil's rub on here. We got to give it some kind of name, don't we? Phil's Fab Rub. And Phil's gonna love that kind of a name, that hipster type thing. All right, let's just keep some of this on here. I'm gonna make sure I get a good even coat. Sure I get all these sides. I know I kind of did on the other end, but let's just make sure. Let's push it in a little bit. All right, that's that for now. Now I'm going to get it in the, wrap it in some plastic wrap, put it in the refrigerator overnight. I'll get it out in the morning, and then we'll get the Weber Kettle going. We'll get I think I'm going with a charcoal snake. We'll get that going, and I'll decide if it's going to be hot and fast or low and slow. So I will catch up to you in the morning. Hey, good morning everyone. I got my coffee, got my snake, my charcoal snake set up and going. That should be ready in a couple of minutes. Got my drip pan here, and I think this should hold me for a couple hours once I get some ash going here. In a few minutes I'll come back with you, and we'll get the brisket on and get it going. And I'm just looking forward to it. It's a beautiful day. A few minutes ago when I came out, there was a few mule deer were hanging out here in the yard by the grill. I think they're wanting to turn carnivore for this brisket, man. So I will come back and talk to you here in just a few minutes when we get the brisket on. Okay, so got the brisket out. The kettle's come up to temp. It's about 250-ish, which is okay for me. I might want to go a little hotter. We'll see as this goes on. So I'm looking to get. I put a little more rub on here because I just want it to. I want to get that nice crust, and I want to get the good flavor of the rub on here. So we're going good. I got my hickory smoke on. I got my temperature gauge just so I can kind of see an overall feeling at the grill here. So we'll watch that. And in my drip pan, I put some boiling water. And you want to make sure you use boiling water because it takes too much energy for to heat up the water to bring it up to what the rest of the kettle's at. So the temperature inside of the grill doesn't get where you want it to be as easily. I have my bottom vents at about 3/4, maybe a little bit more. I kind of tend to like to run those open more and control it a little more finer within 20-25 degrees from these top ones. But we'll go ahead and get this closed, and we'll come back and check it in a while, and watch it, and then all I'm shooting for is for a real hard bark, and in about 4 or 5 hours when it hits that stall, I'm going to wrap it, put a little broth in with it, and then finish it up to about 200. So we'll be back with that in a little bit. Alright, so we're about a little over 5 hours in to the cook, and what I'm going to do is it's at the stall, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I temped it. It's about 100 and average from side to side. It's going to average about 158, 160. So I'm going to go ahead, take it off, put it in here. I have just some beef broth with, excuse me, with the same rub that's on it mixed together here that I'm going to add into the foil with it, wrap it up, and put it back on to finish out. So let's go ahead and get that done. Oh, and it's looking good. Indeed. Okay. Alrighty. Bark's nice and firm, stuck on. It doesn't come off. We're starting to get some real nice color. Boy, that's a beaut. And all this fat's rendering down. Looking good. So, to wrap this, what I'm going to do is come in here and wrap this part up. And I'm going to need to get some more foil. So, you have to bear with me for a second. I'm going to leave this end open. So, because of the wind, because we're filming, the wind decides to kick up. You know how wind is. As you can see. And I'm going to need another piece to go over the top of this. Give me a second. Okay.
That's the microphone sticking on wind right now.
Well, plus with this noisy foil,
The wind sure.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Get this nice and tight down here. If you have wider foil, I don't. I have this normal household kind of skinny stuff. So I had to put a little extra on the top, but now I'm going to come over nice and tight with this. And bring this over. Here. This over here. Obviously, you can view all this to your heart's desire. Whoops. Yeah, that's a little rough on the foil here. And what I'm going to try and do now, which I'm going to go ahead and put one more piece of foil here because I don't want the liquid to drain out. Kind of doing the patchwork foil job here, but it'll get it done. There we go. Now, I'm going to attempt find the opening here. My stone. Trying to kind of make my boat here. Get our liquid here. Did you think? All right, now close up this end. doing the trick. Bringing it back on. That, I got a leak. So it sounds like some of that's leaking out, so that's not going to work as good as I'd hoped. However, it is doing okay. We'll put it back on. We'll wait to temp it at about 200, 203, probably another few hours. So we'll let it go, and I'll be back with you when we're taking it off. All right, so it got up to about 190, 193 in that area. I know I took it off a little earlier. I was shooting for about 203, but it was getting late and I needed to move on. So this is it. The crust, the bark looks great. It's all jiggly on the point, so that's awesome. Now, and then I did save. This is what came out of the foil after we wrapped it. I did save that. I'm going to pour back into the meat. I'm going to go ahead and slice this, and what I'm going to do is find this, separate the point, maybe. There we go. Let's go this way first. And so I just want to separate the point and the flat. Let's see here. There we go. And separate this a little bit. Ooh my. So you can see here what we got. A lot of smoke grain. It looks really nice. Look at all the juice. This looks a little dry, but I'm going to go ahead and cut a slice out here. That looks a little dry, but let's see. All right. Maybe should have let it rest a little more, but you know how it is. Been cooking this thing all day. Got to get to it. There we go. Nice and springy. Nice and springy there. This little piece out on the end of the flat. So give it a shot here. See what we got. Oh yeah, that's really good. Got the smoke in it. Oh yeah. It's got the smoke, it's got, you can see, whoops, it's still juicy. Pardon me. Oops. But you can see right there, it's still got some juice. That flattest small point got a little dry, but you know, that's all right. This thing's looking good. So now I'm just going to cut this up. We'll eat it. It was it was a good cook. I had to adjust the heat a little bit. I had to move the holes at the top and the bottom a little. I left the bottom at about 3/4, but the top I had to keep adjusting because the wind kind of picked up, and then as it started to get a little darker, it cooled down a little, so I wanted to do that. But again, there it is. Let me see if I can turn this way. You can get a look in here, and here's the you see that smoke ring in there. Oh, and that's going to be good stuff. That bark is really good too. Matter of fact, this will probably pull right off. Oh, look at that. So that's the prime brisket. with Phil Ledbetter's awesome rub. We will post this whole video when we got it ready. We'll post it to the group. Thanks everybody for watching, and we appreciate you being part of the group. Share your pictures, and if you know anybody that's interested, send them our way to the BBQ Pit Boys Mountain Pit chapter here in Colorado. You don't have to be from Colorado. You just gotta do some good Q, some good smoking, and share with everybody. So thanks again, and everybody have a safe, isolated, and wonderful evening.